So good evening and welcome you all to this session on this emerging trend in the project management. So today this session will run for almost 90 minutes, slightly less than 90 minutes. And I have planned to divide it into three parts. The first part is about the PMP, the Project Management Professional Certification, given by the Project Management Institute, USA, and what are the advantages and why a working professional has to do it. What are the advantages of doing that particular certification course and in terms of the career growth. So that we'll be learning. The second aspect is about we are going to cover some fundamental principles about what is project management and how it has evolved over the last 40, 50 years and where it is going through. So what is the emerging trends, right? Where the project management is likely to go. So that is the second part. And the third part is about our company, ICEQBS, and the advantage of any one of you interested in taking the PMP training. Then what is the advantage you have if you are going to get the training from us? So that it could be for a few minutes. I'll be spending on that. So anyhow, my detailed introduction is coming in the last section, but I'll just give a very brief introduction now. So my name is Annamlai. I am basically a BTech engineer from IIT Varanasi, Banaras Indian University, and I passed out in there in 1985. And for almost 30 years, I was in employment, both in the Murugappa Group in Chennai and also in the Siemens in Kolkata. And for the last 10 years, I am running this company, ICEQBS, and we are specialized in the customized content development, training, and the implementation support for the lean management, Lean Six Sigma, and the project management. And our major customers include Amazon, Asian Paints, Essilor, ESAB, Lennox, Standard Chartered Bank, Pfizer Healthcare, L&T Watch, Mahindra Finance, and so on. So, and I have also been a visiting professor in both the university in Botswana and also the Gujarat Institute of Management, Goa. Sorry, Goa Institute of Management, Goa. So that is a brief introduction about myself. So today we are going to talk about this trend topic, emerging trend in project management. So let us now try to understand what is PMP. So once we talk about the project management, the first thing what comes to everybody's mind is about the PMP certification. So what is PMP? PMP is actually Project Management Professional. So it is a globally recognized certification. So there are many certifications which are available across the globe for the project management. But the PMP is actually the most recognized, globally recognized across the globe. So more than 200 countries, the PMP professionals are there across the globe. And more than 85% of the certified project managers are by PMP, right? So even though there are other alternatives in project management also available, like the Prince2, but these PMP certifications remains the global standard, gold standard. And the PMP certification is given by an institute in USA, which is called as PMI, that is the Project Management Institute. And this PMI was founded in 1969 in USA, and it is actually a non-profit organization. And the main aim is to spread the best practices in project management. So the PMI is a global authority for the project management standards, certifications, and the best practices. And even though the PMI was formed in 1969, the first PMP certification was launched in 1984. So almost around 40 years, 42 years from now. And currently more than 2.1 million professionals across 200 plus countries are holding this PMP certification. So such is the impact of this certification across the globe. So why as a working professional, you should be going for PMP certification? So this PMP certification is not really limited to a particular domain or a particular function. So whether you are working in a construction domain or oil and gas, manufacturing, IT service, or software development, healthcare. So any type of domain wherever you're working, and even if you are working in research and development, or the production, or the quality, or any other function, still you can do the PMP certification. So this certification is valid across the different domains and across the different functions and across the different products and services. Right? And what are the advantages of doing the PMP certification? So the first advantage is it will help you to enhance your skill. So once you complete the PMP training and you take the certification, then you are going to get the exposure to the global best practices. Because the fundamental reason why the PMI is in existence and giving this PMP certification is to spread the global best practices in project management. And you will also be exposed to the current industry trends. So typically, the PMP the examination is conducted based upon a syllabus which is called as the ECU, that is uh, uh, content exam content outline. So this exam content outline is revised maybe every 4 or 5 years. So the PMI, they consult the different cross sections of the industry. So the different sizes like startups, small, medium, and large multinational companies, then across the different domains, across the different functions. So they just interview the people, interview a group of the organizations, the organizational heads, working professionals, and then they upgrade the content every 4 to 5 years, right? And that is the reason whenever you are writing the PMP exam, then you are going to write the exam based on the latest trends in the project management. So you are going to be exposed to the current industry standard, and by taking the certification, you will be able to deliver the projects in a better manner. So better project delivery you will be able to achieve. So that is about enhancing the skills in the updating your project management skills and getting exposed to the best practices in project management. The second advantage is about identity. So it is going to be a professional credibility for you. So uh, taking the PMP exam and clearing the exam and getting the PMP certification is not an easy job. So the exam is really a tough exam, similar to our own in India. We can call that as whether it's IIT or IIM or UPSC, that IAS, IPS examination. So how they are difficult. So such difficult is the PMP exam. So once you clear the PMP exam, that means you are one among a handful of people who have got this certification. So it increases your professional credibility, stronger reputation. So as I told you, not everyone can become a PMP certified project manager. So once you have the PMP certification, so you are going to have a stronger reputation in your own organization across the different departments and different levels. So the getting the PM certification will also give you a greater confidence. So as a project manager, you'll be able to have a confidence that you'll be able to execute the project in a very efficient manner. The third advantage is about the career growth. So by passing the PMP exam, then you are going to be exposed to the global career advantage. So irrespective of you may be working in India, maybe in a manufacturing organization, and you want to move to maybe abroad, like Middle East Asian countries or Singapore or any USA or any European country, then you can just get the PMP certification, and then you can switch your domain, or you can switch your function, and then you can go and shine in any of the domains or any of the functions. So whenever, if you want to change your career domain, or if you want to change the country, then the taking the PMP certification is one of the easiest way. So again, the PMP certified professional, they have a higher earning potential. So when you compare the professional who is not PMP certified and who is as equal in other aspects in terms of qualification, but only difference between these two people is the PMP certification, then there is a 35% difference in the salary. So a PMP certified professional earns around 35% salary more when compared to a non-PMP certified professional. So higher earning potential is there for the PMP certified people. And again, we have a greater employer value. So again, in most of the customers, they give orders to the companies in India. And one of the main preconditions they may put up to the companies in India is that the project should be managed by a PMP certified project manager. So, and if an organization is having a lot of PMPs, then that organization is likely to bag the prestigious orders from across the global multinational company based in maybe USA or Europe and so on. So that is about getting the PMP certification and having employing the PMP certified professional is going to be an advantage both for the professionals as well as for the organization. And the last advantage is about the networking. So once you get into the PMP board, then you'll be like you can become a member of the PMA. So the PMA all over the India, there are a lot of chapters are there. So again, they will organize for webinars, seminars, and a lot of other activities will be there, where the PMP certified professionals from across the different domains and different functions, they can assemble. And it is a great place for you for doing the networking. So in that type of webinars or seminar, you are likely to get introduced to some of the peers working in the other domain. And there is a huge opportunity for you to uh, get a job, right? A better job when compared to what you are currently doing. And you also will get an opportunity for mentoring the peers. Where, for example, you can mentor someone who is interested in clearing the PMP exam so by sharing your knowledge, right? And you will be also exposed to the global community. So these are the different advantages of taking the PMP certification. You'll be able to improve your project management skill. You'll have a great makeover in your identity. And as a professional and as an organization, good career growth will be there. And huge networking opportunities are there for the PMP certified professional. Okay. And now, why become a project manager, professional project manager now? So currently now we are in 2026. So why this time is very appropriate for becoming a PM? So again, there are some few reasons are there. So first one is the organizations are looking for professionals who are just beyond the project manager. So now the organizations don't just need only the project manager who can manage the project, but they need certified leaders who can drive the complex, high impact initiative and deliver real business results. Okay? So nowadays, you can see that I think all of you are working professionals. You know that the requirements of the customers are not quite stable, whether it is software domain or whether it is IT service or construction or oil and gas or any domain. The requirements of the customers are constantly changing, and the customers always want the best value for the money, whatever they are spending. And if you want to have that as the end result, then you need a very competent project manager. And becoming a PMP certified professional gives you that advantage or edge over the others. The second reason is there's a massive global opportunity there. So you can see that by based upon the source survey conducted by the Project Management Institute, PMI, then in 2035, that means around 10 years from now, so across the globe, 30 million, that is 3 crore project management professionals will be really required. So that in order to keep up with the growth of the transformation. So 30 million, 3 crores of the project managers are required. So there is a huge opportunity either for the PMP certificate. And as I was telling you in the earlier slide, so there's a higher earning potential is there. So the PMP certified professionals, they earn up to 35% more salary when compared to their non-certified peers. And again, especially in India, there's a strong demand. And so there is always bridging the gap between the industry need and the skilled project leadership. Second, it is a globally trusted credential, is the world's most respected project management certification. So that validates your skills, experience, and professional credibility anywhere in the world year after. Okay. just maybe, okay. So again, this is what is a, as I was telling you, this is again a source from a PMI. So you can see that PMP certified profession, they earn, for example, the PMP is $28,000, whereas the non-PMP, so he is earning only 20,800, right? So around 35% difference is there in terms of the, there's a difference between the PMP and non-PMP certified professionals. So I'll just give a brief about the procedure for taking the PMP exam and clearing. So there are three major eligibility criteria for becoming for taking the PMP exam. The first one is about your education qualification. So you should have a degree certificate, 4 years of degree. If you have 4 years of degree, like undergraduate or postgraduate, it's like, for example, BE, BTech or MSc, MS. So minimum 4 years of academic college education you have. Then you need to have a minimum of 3 years of project management experience. So that comes to around 3,600 hours of project management experience. And you will have to again take a 35 hours training. So there are a lot of authorized training providers are available, partners are available who are certified by PMI. And the trainers are also certified by PMI that they'll be able to take those training sessions. So these are the three criteria. That means if you are 4 years of college education you have and 3 years of project management experience, and after you have taken the 32 or 35 hours of training certification, then you are eligible to take the PMP exam. And if you are a diploma holder, then 5 years of experience equivalent to 6,000 hours of project management experience, and 35 hours of the training is required. So once you satisfy these three criteria, then you can just fill up the application by going into the PMI website, and then you can just your application will be verified for the genuinity of your application, and then you'll have to pay the fees for the exam. So typically it comes to around 50,000 INR, so roughly around $550 is the approximate amount needed for writing the exam.
Sir,
And
sorry for the interruption.
yeah,
Can you please just come back for this criteria for engineering? So, if we have engineering and like experience in any organization is enough, or particularly in some like designation with project management.
so designation, actually, you don't need to show some designation like project manager or a project tester or something. That is not really required. Maybe you might have been a quality manager or a production engineer or a production planning engineer, any type of designation you can have. But only thing
Okay.
is, they will be asking for, you will have to give the details about the projects, what you have worked. For example, maybe you may be working in a manufacturing organization in the production department, but maybe in your company, they have gone for the expansion capacity enhancement, this thing. So maybe that
Hmm.
project would have gone for maybe 1 year or something like that. So there maybe you would have contributed in terms of planning, executing and everything. That's maybe even though you may not be leading the project, maybe you got involved in that particular project. So that can be shown as a project management experience.
Okay, okay. Any experience like it need to be have some projects and we need to
Yeah.
involve in that.
Yes, yes, yes. For example, you may be working in manufacturing and then you might have done a project to improve the yield in your process by maybe 5% or so. So you would have
Okay,
taken
okay,
some improvement project and then you would have spent around 6 months on that. Even that also can be shown as a project.
okay, okay. Please go
So
ahead.
yeah, multiple projects you can show, right? So within that 3 years, like you can say, for example, now we are in 2026. So you can just go backwards till you are able to account for these 3,000 hours, 3,600 hours
Because
of.
many engineers from my electrical sides they were working in installations.
Yeah.
So like installations might be complete within 1 month, 2 months, 6 months.
Mm,
So that can be also added, right? Like 3 years of continuous experience in single company
mm.
that we can add, right?
Yeah, that you can add.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay. So the once you once you pay the fees, and then it just like you have to book the slot. So again, you can take the exam sitting at the comfort of your office or at home. So again, it is a proctored exam. So you'll have to get into your room and your video should be on. And you'll have to first switch on your video and show around the room to the proctor, whoever is going to do the surveillance of the exam. And then once they will run some tools, then you will be able to access only the exam. So the exam is around 180 questions you have to answer. All are multiple choice questions. So typically four answers will be there for a particular question, and you will have to select the best answer. Very few questions will have multiple answers correct, but most of the questions will be having only one answer right. So you have to select the best answer. And so it is again 4 hours of test, and 180 questions will be there. And once you complete the exam and you submit it, then automatically the tool will run, and it will just give an indication whether you have passed, cleared the exam or not. So how many questions you have answered right, how many which are the questions you have answered right, you don't get any information. And till now, the PMA has not officially declared like what percentage marks or what percentage of the questions is it get it right in order to get the PMP certificate, right? So it is not officially announced, but strong indication is that if you are getting more than 70% in the PMP exam, then there is a all likelihood you may be passing the PMP exam more than 70%, right? That is what is there. So whenever you are preparing for the exam and then you are taking some mock test, so try to aim for 75 to 80% in the internationally reputed institute. They have their mock test question papers, and in that, if you are able to get 75 to 80%, then in the final PMP exam, if you are able to get more than 70%, then you are likely to pass the PMP exam. So the PMP certificate is valid for 3 years from the time it is issued. And after 3 years, it is not necessary that you will have to take the exam again, but you will have to do the renewal. So renewal will cost somewhere around 10,000 rupees or something like that. So you'll have to show some evidence of spending at least 60 hours in the project management related activities, either learning something new about project management or sharing your experience about project management or involving in some volunteering work related to project management. So some activities related to the project management, some guidelines are there in the PMI. Once you satisfy and then show the evidence that you have spent the 60 hours on project management related activities in the 3 years, then you will get the recertification, right? And typically, as I was telling you, the versions of the PMP exam will change every 4 or 5 years. But as long as you are continuously reviewing it, no need for you to take the examination second time, right? Only clearing the exam only once and then continuously renewing every 3 years will keep your certificate valid. So that is about the.
So 1 second. After 3 years, we need to renew our PMP.
Yeah,
Like after renewing, how much year it will be valid?
yeah, every three
Next three
years.
years?
Every 3 years.
Every 3 years. Okay, sir. Thanks.
Every 3 years. So if anyone have any questions, you can just ask me then and there. No need for you to wait till the end. Right? So that is about the what is the advantage of doing the PMP exam and what is PMP and the examination formalities as well. So now let us get started. But before that, maybe I will take a small poll to just understand about the audience here. Okay, I'm just launching a poll. 2 questions are there, just for me to understand about your knowledge level. Maybe I can just open this question for 1 minute.
Sir, what is the fees of the just like the certificates or the PMP? Like the total fees?
Total fees for the exam or?
Yeah, which will big exam.
Yeah, exam, as I told you, it will be roughly around 50,000 rupees, $550.
Oh, okay. And certificate fees, just like India certificate, your side.
Pardon? India?
Yeah, your institute fees just like this certification, only for certification.
Only for the 35 series certificate, roughly that will be around 15,000 or so.
Okay, sir. Not. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I will just end the poll now. So I got some idea. Okay. Okay. So now let us just have a quick this thing
Sir,
about what is a yeah.
sir, is it same for the PGMP even regarding the
This
renewal process?
yeah, all these things are almost same. You are talking about program management, right? Yeah,
Yes,
almost
sir.
all are same. Yeah. Only the examination fees will be different depending upon the certification what you are going to take, but the procedure will be the same.
Same renewal and all, everything will be the
Yes,
same.
everything will be the same.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now let us quickly learn what is a project. So definition of a project. So a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. So when I say a project is a temporary endeavor, so temporary does not mean that is a short term, right? When I say temporary, that means it has got a clear start and end date. And at the end of the project, you are going to create a unique product, or you are going to create a unique service, or you are going to create a unique result. For example, if you are working for a construction company and you are doing a project for a residential apartments for high-rise buildings with 1,000 houses, and even though your company has constructed a lot of apartments in the different areas in the city, but in that particular location, so you are going to create a unique apartment. Because again, you know that the geology of the different locations are going to be different. So then that can be considered as a project because you are going to create a unique product. Even though we have constructed apartments somewhere else in the same city, but at this place, this is going to be a different environment totally at all. So the product, what you have, the apartments, what you are going to build is a unique product or unique service. For example, currently I am just doing only the Lean Six Sigma and the PMP certification. So now I may just decide that I will also take the master black belt for the Lean Six Sigma. In that case, I will have to create the new content, then I will have to write the prepare the mock test and everything, and then I will have to go for the marketing, how I am going to get the people done. So till the time I just fully launch it, and then this master black belt program is going to be a regular every month project, every month program. Till that I can call it as a project. So I'm going to give a new unique service to the on behalf of my organization or result. So maybe I may be working in a manufacturing organization and I am doing a project to improve the yield. So at the end of the project, the yield has improved by 5%. So that is a unique result. So the project has got a clear start date and end date, and it is going to create a new or a unique product, service, or the result, and it is progressively elaborated. So that means whenever you start the project, maybe you don't have the full information about the project, about the scope or about the budget. You can have a very high level information. But as you are moving across further and further in the project, then more and more information you get about the project, and then you will be able to do the final and final planning. So initially, you start with a very high level scope of work, but as more and more information you get about the requirements of the customer, then you'll be able to plan more effectively. So that's why we call it a progressively elaborate. So these are the three main characteristics of a project. So as I was telling you, the PMI was established in 1969, and the PMP examination started in the year 1984. So from 1984 to almost 2020, so that means almost for 35 years, the definition of the project management was almost remained the same. So the definition was it is the project management is the application of knowledge. When we talk about the knowledge, so the um, how we are going to apply the different processes. Again, we are going to talk about some processes, project management processes. So how we are going to apply the knowledge of those processes, and then skills. Again, the project management needs a lot of interpersonal skills like the communication, negotiation skills, active listening, conflict management, and so on. So how you are going to apply your interpersonal skills and the leadership skills so that you can coordinate the project work and then get the result. So that's again how you are going to apply those skills. And then tools and techniques. Again, you are going to talk about a lot of tools and techniques you will be taught in the 35 hours of training. So how you are going to apply those knowledge about those processes, interpersonal and leadership skills, and the tools and techniques to the project activities so that you'll be able to achieve the specific goal. So if you are working on a project to construct 4 high-rise buildings within 3 years, then at the end of the 3 years, if you are able to complete the project, so that means your project has been successful. So all these three must be, you will have to expertly, you will have to manage the skills, tools and techniques, knowledge, so that you will be able to deliver the project on time and on budget. Right? So according to the world definition, if you are able to complete a project within the stipulated time or within the committed time and within the committed budget, that means your project was successful. So that was the definition as per the old still which was valid up to 2020. And as I was telling you, like the project management PMP exam, even though it started in the year 1984, then it was conducted based on some other parameters. But in 1996, then the exam was conducted based upon a book, which is called as the Project Management Body of Knowledge. So we call it the PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. And the first edition was available in 1996, and it had 176 pages, 9 knowledge areas, and 37 processes. So I will quickly explain in the next slide what is the knowledge area and what are the processes. So from 1996 to 2000, 2004, 2000, so you can see that every 4 or 5 years, then the book is getting updated. So you can see that more and more the knowledge areas were increasing from 9 to 10, and the processes, number of processes increased from 37 to 49 in the 6th edition, which was released in 2017. And again, we also, in the 2004, we came out with the concept of ITO, that is inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs. So for each of the processes, what are the inputs to the processes? What are the tools and techniques that should be applied in that particular process? And what are the outputs that particular process should give? All those should be defined in for each of the processes. Right? So you can see that in book 1 to 6, almost the structure was the same. But in the 7th edition, which was released in 2021, there was a drastic change in the basic structure of the project management. So we are talking about the 8 performance domains and 12 project management principles. So as we are progressing further, I will explain you what is the major difference between the old way of old definition of project management and the new definition of project management, and how it has helped in effectively managing the projects. Yes, Hitesh?
Hello.
Yeah.
Just I have a question. Like, if I want to switch to a product management role, so is this like, can I get an entry through PMP?
Yeah. So when you are going to manage a product, so maybe you are going to manage the entire product life cycle, right? Right from the market research, then doing the research and development, then doing the market, all those things, right? Developing the product, inserting the capacity for the manufacturing, then making some improvement, and then finally you are going to retire the product, right? So the entire product management, again, that also as a PFP, you will also be able to do. But again, project in product management, maybe it is going to be a multiple projects, right? So market research may be a one project, involved in that, and then feasibility study can be one project. Then doing research and developing that particular product may be another project. So product management is a series of projects, and the PMP can be very effective in the product management course.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Okay. So the PMBOK is a global standard developed by PMI for managing the projects efficiently. So it provides a structured approach to the project management. So it helps the project professionals plan, execute, monitor, and close the project successfully. So again, we are going to talk about 5 processes: how we are going to initiate a project, how we are going to plan the different processes, how we are going to execute the project, how we are going to monitor and control the result, and then how we are going to finally close the project. So all those things will be clearly defined in the book. and it is adopted across the industries worldwide. So across the different domains, different functions, different verticals, it is applicable. Right? Yes, Hitesh? Any questions, Hitesh? Okay. So as I was telling you, as per the old structure, so there are 5 processes in the project management. We call this a process group, initiating process group, planning, executing, monitoring and control, and closing. Right? So in the initiating project, you just define what is the high level objective of the project, what the project wants to achieve, and then you identify the stakeholders. So from whom you are to collect what are the requirements, so that you'll be able to make that particular product accept. So creating defining the objectives of the project and identifying the stakeholders and documenting that. So that will be there in the initiating phase. So in the planning, so you'll have to do the planning for the entire project. There are 10 different aspects, what we call as the knowledge areas, right? So how we are going to manage the plan for the scope management, how we are going to plan for the schedule, how we are going to plan for the cost. So that there are 10 different aspects of the project management. So how each aspect of the project is going to be planned. So that will be there in the planning phase. So once you make the planning, and then finally you make a project management plan. So there is going to be a very comprehensive document giving all the details on each and every aspect of the project, how we are going to plan. Then in the execution stage, you are going to execute the project management plan, whatever you have defined. Then as you are planning and executing, so you have to monitor and control. So whether you are, when you are executing, whether you are as per the plan in terms of scope, time, cost, quality, etc. And if there is a deviation, then what actions you can take so that you can bring back the project to the original schedule or the original situation. For that, again, you do the monitoring and controlling. So you conduct some constant status update meetings, and then you have some reviews with the senior management and so on, so that the projects are monitored and controlled very effectively. And then finally, once you have achieved the objectives of the project, you can formally close it. And in some cases, maybe if the requirement of the product itself is not there, or there are some factors beyond the control of the project manager, some reason may be there. So because of that, the project can be closed, either successfully or sometimes can be suspended also. So we have to formally close it. So initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. These are the 5 process groups. And there are 10 knowledge areas. The knowledge areas is nothing but the different aspects of the project management. So the scope management is going to give you how we are going to collect the requirements from the customer, the stakeholders, then how we are going to define the scope. Because all the requirements you may not be able to accommodate in the product. So you have to prioritize the requirements that should be taken within the scope of the project. Then you just define the scope statement, and then time management is a schedule management. So how we are going to prepare the schedule, cost management, how we are going to prepare the budget, quality management, resource management in terms of manpower, material, infrastructure, what resources are required, communication management, what are the requirements of the communication within and outside the project, risk management, how we are going to identify the risk for the project, and how we are going to take action so that they will be able to mitigate the risk. Procurement management, so whenever something for the inputs for the project, whenever you want to procure from an outside agency, how we are going to procure those product and services. And then stakeholder management, how we are going to manage the stakeholder. So these are the 9 different aspects of the project. We call it a knowledge area. And then in order to integrate all those things, coordinate so that the project can be done in a coordinated manner, we also learn about the integration manner. Right? So because, for example, the stakeholder may say that the time is very important for him and cost is also very important, right? So the budget should be completed within the schedule and within the budget. But again, as the time is, as the project is progressing, maybe you are finding that there are some escalation in the raw material cost. So because of that, it is going beyond the budget. But again, we have to take some action so that it is brought within that budget. So that is for the you have to make any change requirement, right? So whenever any changes, new additional changes are done in the project, in order to manage that, you will have to have the integration plan. So these are the 10 different aspects of the project management we call as a knowledge area. So as per the PIMBOK 6, which is the last one, as per this particular structure, we had 5 process groups and 10 knowledge areas. And within these 5 process groups and 10 knowledge areas, there were 49, actually in PIMBOK 6, there were 49 processes were there. So for example, under integration management and the initiating process group, there was one project. There was a create project charter, and stakeholder management and initiating, there was one, and the stakeholder. So like that, there are total of 49 processes as per PIMBOK 6. So how we are going to document these 49 processes and how we are going to execute those 49 processes in the project. So that was actually the entire scope of the as per the PIMBOK 6. So how we are going to apply all these 49 processes in your project. So that was the crux of the project management as per the PIMBOK 6. But again, when you know that starting from late 1990s, again, there was a boom in the IT service, the software development and the IT service company. And in those domains, then the requirements of the customer were changing quite fast, right? So again, when all of you might be aware that in the late 1990s, maybe after 1996 and all, the hottest topic was about Y2K. Projects were going on Y2K. I mean, the year 2000, because the millennium was changing, right? From 19th century, so 20th century to 21st century. So a lot of softwares and the programs had to be changed. So a lot of projects were going on. So at that point of time, it was felt that the customer's requirement was not stable. So they were quite changing very fast. And then the projects were, the managers were finding it very difficult to manage the project. So because of this change in the condition, then the limitations of the limbo, the structure, basic structure, really came into the picture. And ultimately, in 2015, around 2000, again, the agile methodology was born. And then the agile methodology, again, was also practiced mostly into the software development. And that actually, the advent of this agile methodology exposed the basic flaw in the PIMBO 1 to 6, right? It was overly process centric. So focus shifts to documentation over project value. So many times what was happening was the project managers, they were just spending a lot of time and effort on making the documents on all the pertinent processes and how it is at the time of execution, monitoring and control. So a lot of documentation was done in terms of planning, execution, monitoring and control, but whether the real value has been delivered to the customer. So that was not the focus. So that was one of the major limitations in the PIMBOK, more of a process-centric document oriented. And the second major limitation was about it was not flexible, low adaptability in agile or fast changing environment. So when the customer requirements are changing quite fast, then the project management processes, as per the PIMBOK 1 to 6, they were again not very supportive of these rapid changes in the customer requirement. And accordingly, a lot of customer requirements were not taken care, and that led to a lot of dissatisfaction from the customer. So that was identified as one more limitations of PIMBOK, not low adaptability. Then limited focus on outcomes. So, for example, if you are working on a construction project, for the residential apartments, 4 high-rise buildings with 1,000 houses, that has to be constructed within 3 years under a budget of 100 crores. So, if you are able to complete the project within 3 years, that means 2 years and 11 months, and you are able to complete within 98 crores, that means you are within the budget and within the schedule. So that means the project has been completed successfully. So that was the focus on as per the PIMBOK 6. Right? So whether you are delivering the project on time below the budget, but whether the real value has been delivered to the customer. So after all, whenever you are building the apartment, then the users who are buying the apartment and who are going to live there. So whether all those requirements of those people, residents have been taken care of or not. So that was not really focused. Right? So maybe the apartment would have been completed, but some basic amenities might be missing, or maybe some comfort level or the luxury items or whatever it is, some common facilities are not given. So those type of shortcomings were not really focused on. So that was again one of the major limitations. So focus was only on completing the project on time within the budget, but not on whether the value has been delivered to the customer. The fourth one was minimum people or soft skills. So when we are talking about these 49 processes, hardly some 2-3 processes were directed towards the people. So, but again, the project management is actually very more of a people-centric subject. So until unless you have a very good team who are taking the self-interest for they are self-motivated and then they are working as a team, then only you will be able to deliver the result. And in a modern day scenario, you can see that a lot of global teams are working. So virtual teams are working, right? So team of 5 people may be there. One may be sitting in India, another may be in Middle East, another may be in Japan, another may be in USA. But how all these people are going to work together in a collaborative manner and deliver the outcome. So that is what is going to be the focus. So more it is a people-centric project management, but again, there was not much of importance was given as per the people. There was again another limitation. And again, as restricted adaptability, limited guidance across the industries and project side. So again, even for a small project, which is going to last for 1 month, you have to follow those 49 processes. And even for these very big projects like oil and gas projects, this is going to run for 20 years. Again, the same 49 processes have to apply. So the tailoring or adaptability was not there. It was actually uniform. Requirements are uniform across the different sizes and different industries. It was not customized. That was one of the other limitations. And again, it is the end-only delivery. And again, if you see, the delivery was made only at the end of the project. For example, if a bank is asking for a ERP system to automate their activities in the bank, and they approach the software development company, and then the software development company will collect all the requirements, write the coding, and then do the testing, do the final user acceptance test, and then they will deliver the software only after the third year, the end of the third year. But by the time, the processes at the back might have been changed quite a lot. And the new software may be becoming liability, right? Because again, it is not working because the basic process itself has changed. So because the deliverable is made only at the end of the project after 3 years or 5 years or something like that. So that was again one of the limitations. So usable product at a frequent interval of time, that was not. So these are some of the very important salient limitations as per the Timbuk 6. So again, as I was telling you, so while this Timbuk was initially initiated in 1984, and then it was in existence till 2017 or 2020. But again, in 2001, the software core manager, software developer, they came out with this agile. And then they talked about 4 core values. So, which is the basic principle for the agile project management. So these 4 core values, the first one is the individuals and interactions over processes and tools. So don't bother too much about the processes and the tools and techniques. So bother more about the individuals. So you take care of all the stakeholders, you take care of all the team members, interact with them, clearly understand what are the requirements, and clearly work as a team in a collaborative manner, then your project will be successful. So focus more on the individuals interaction rather than the processes and tools. That was the first core value. Second one is about the customer collaboration over the contract negotiation. So till the time, what was happening was like once you, the supplier and the customer enter into a contract, this is what is the scope of work. And for doing the scope of work, this is what is going to be the money paid. So once the contract is signed and then the project commences, and in between when the project is getting executed, some of the customer requirements are changing. But again, the vendor was always saying that it is not there in the contract, so we will not be able to execute that. If you want us to do that, again, you have to pay something extra. Right? So the focus was more on the fulfilling the requirements as per the contract, but not on the collaboratively working with the customer. So at the end, maybe the customer may not be getting a product which is going to be very useful to. The third core value was the working software over comprehensive documentation. So instead of spending 8 months to 1 year, 2 years on just documenting the requirements of the customer and coming out with the software after 5 years and finding that the software is not really working in that particular environment, everything is going to be a mistake. So instead of going for a comprehensive document, so always try to give some small increments, working software, so that the customer will be able to use it right from the beginning. So that is what is the third concept. And fourth one is responding to change over following the plan. So we can have a very high level plan, but as and when the customer requirements are changing, then you have to how you are going to change your plan frequently in order to meet the customer's changing requirement and responding to their changes. So that is what would be a focus. Right? Responding to the change over following. So this Agile Manifesto, which came into existence in 2001, we had these 4 core values. And again, it was again followed by 12 Agile principles. Right? So this manifesto, these 4 principles were displayed in 12 principles. So more emphasis was on the importance was given for improving the customer satisfaction, meeting the change in the requirement of the customer, frequent delivery. Like for example, if the customer is asking for a ERP system to be developed with 10 modules in 3 years. So at the end of third month, then try to first work only with the say purchase module, deliver the purchase module to the customer so that the customer can start using the purchase module. Then start working on the in consideration of the customer, go for the next priority item. Customer message production. Then work on the production module for the next 3 months and then give it as a working software so that the customer can start using. So that means instead of making one delivery at the end of the project, we just cut that into small pieces and then deliver those smaller pieces frequently and through the entire life cycle of the project. Then the customer also is getting a lot of benefit and we also will be able to monetize the project. Whatever the work you are doing, you'll be able to convert that into. So frequent delivery. So working product, small we call it MVP, minimum viable product. We call it MVP. So instead of giving a single deliverable at the end of the project, you slice down the deliverables into some small pieces, and then you deliver it quite frequently. Then the customer is also going to be happy, and you are also going to get the money immediately. So that is the concept for the agile, one of the agile principles, frequent delivery. Regular communication between the customer and the supplier. Motivated individual. So we call that as a self-organization teams in agile terminology. Then this is very common, self-organizing. So the concept in self-organizing team is that as per the old way of working, that means the project manager will give the instruction and the project team members will follow the instruction given by the project manager. But in the agile methodology, the focus is that, or the belief is that the team is capable of planning and executing all those activities related to the project. So only thing is the project manager has to ensure that the right environment and right resources are given to the team and the coordination with the other stakeholders, other department or with the senior management or with the vendor. So that has to be taken care by the project manager. But the real work of planning and executing the work that will be done by the project team only. So that is the basic concept as well, the motivated individuals for the self-organizing team. Then face-to-face meeting, again, regular communication, part of it. Measure outputs. So as and when you are giving some outputs, you just measure it, whether you are meeting the customer requirement. Sustainable development processes. So whenever you are developing something, so always go for. So you can see that the Agile Manifesto is mainly used for the software development. So initially it was focusing, even now it is focusing only on the software manifesto. The Agile Manifesto and the 12 Agile principles are focusing only on the software development process. The sustainable software development process, technical excellence and good design, simplicity. So don't make any software very complex, make it very simple. Self-sufficient teams or the self-organizing team and continuous improvement. So again, the continuous improvement is actually one of the very important aspects of this Agile methodology. So, for example, you are now working on a ERP with the 10 module. And then the first module, you started off by coding in Java. And after the first module is completed, so you want to now move on to the second module, then you do a review. So whether writing the code in Java, whether it was useful, whether it was effective. So instead of Java, if you go for Python, then what is going to happen? So whether the time is going to reduce, whether the quality is going to improve. then you just discuss, and then if you feel that changing over to Java will be better, then for the second module, you go for the Python. Continuously, you go on improving the way you are going to work so that the lot of efficiency will be there in the project. So that is about these 12 agile principles, so which emanated from the four values of agile. So this was starting existing even from 2001. So in roughly around 2017-18, then the PMI, then they thought that if a particular approach is working for the software development, then why it cannot work in the other domains like the healthcare or the construction or the new product development and manufacturing. So any type of domain, why these agile principles cannot be useful. So then the major change or the shift in the definition of the project management system came in the year 2022. So now, as per the PMBOK 7, the definition of the project management is the project do not simply produce the outputs, but more importantly, enable those outputs to drive the outcomes that ultimately deliver value to the organization and its stakeholders. Second, I'll again take the help of the construction thing. So as per the PMBOK 6, so if you are working on a project to complete 4 high-rise buildings within 3 years under 100 crores, if you are able to do that, then your project is completed successfully. But as per the PMBOK 7, then now the focus is more, we are going to be bothered more about the outcomes. So whether the houses are comfortable, meeting the needs of all the users who are going to occupy the house. So whether it was is having some renewable energy options. So whether the environment is safe or something like that. So all those things are also taken care. So finally, whether the value can be delivered to the customer, that it becomes more important. So instead of this, focus has now shifted from completing the project on time and within budget to delivering value to the customers and the stakeholders. That is the major shift that has happened with as per the PMBOK 7, which was released in 2021 and 2022. So again, as per the PMBOK 7, there are 12 project management principles are there. So these 12 project management principles are different from the 12 agile principles. So the agile principles are limited only to the software development, whereas whatever the PMI has come out in the PMBOK 7, these 12 project management principles are applicable across the different domains. So that talks about the stewardship. That means you have to be, as a project manager, you have to be very caring to the people and to the project management, the project team, you have to take care. So you have to have a honesty, you have to use the resources of the organization very in a careful manner. So how you are going to be very caring about the project team members and the resources given to you. So that is what the stewardship. Second is about the team. So how we are going to create a collaborative working condition for the entire team so that they enjoy working as a team and then deliver the output. Then the stakeholder is a very important aspect of the project management. So how we are going to identify the stakeholders, engage the stakeholders and meet their requirements. That is again one of the very important area. Then the value. So what are the value you are going to create for the organization and for the end user? That is very important. Then the system thinking. So when you say system thinking, so whenever you are, for example, you are working in a project, in a construction project, and then there is a purchase department which is responsible for procuring all the material. So maybe on a particular time, period of time, maybe there was a delay in getting the raw material. So if as per the PMBOK, then he might have just simply said that we didn't get the material from the purchase department, so we cannot complete the project on time. But now, as per the system thinking, then we need to again go out of our comfort zone and then see what can be done. If the raw material is getting delayed, what else can be done so that the project objectives are not missed. That's what is the system thinking, so that we can take some proactive action. So think the project as an entire system, and then if there's going to be a problem, then how we are going to solve it so that the project is always running on time. Then leadership is a very important aspect for project management. So what type of leadership? So typically we call it a servant leadership. The type of leadership, what is practiced in the latest project is the servant leadership. So the servant leadership means in this case, the attitude of the project manager should be that I am very confident that the team will be able to plan and execute all the project task activity. And my job is to remove any obstacles, whatever is coming across in front of my team. And I like to just ensure that the resources are provided and all the stakeholders are managed so that the team will plan and execute the work. So that's what is the servant leadership that is normally demonstrated in the workshop. Then tailoring means customizing. So depending upon the size, depending upon the domain, depending upon the function, the processes can be tailored so that the project management becomes very easy. Then quality has to be inbuilt in each and every aspect of the project. So that's what the quality is. Right? So don't inspect out the quality, build the quality within the product or service. That is about quality. Complexity, so you have to navigate the complexity. So whenever you are doing a project, a lot of unforeseen obstacles may come. How we are going to take a proactive action to come out of those all those complexity, that is very important. Then the risk, how we are going to identify the risk, how we are going to make a response plan, so that even if the risks are happening, then you'll be having a plan in place. Then adaptability and resilience. So whenever something is not happening as per the plan, how we are going to immediately bounce upon and come back to the original status. So that is again important. Then the last one is the change management. So these are the 12 project management principles which are not applied across the entire project. And these 12 project management principles are manifested in 8 performance domains. So life cycle. So what type of life cycle you are going to follow? So whether it is going to be a traditional method where you are going to do the planning well in advance, and then you are going to execute the plan. And that is what the predictive life cycle or the traditional life cycle. And agile is where you are going to just to take care of all the changing requirement of the customer. So that is one. The team, stakeholder, planning, project work, delivery, measurement, and certainty. So these are the 8 performance domains as well. So example of, I'm not going to explain how all the 12 principles are applied, but I can just give you some hint about how just about 4 of those principles, how it can be implemented or how it can be demonstrated in a construction project, right? So one of the principles say that build quality into the processes and deliverables, right? So that means here in the construction industry, what you can do is implement the stage-wise inspections for curing, steel placement, and concrete strength tests, etc., to prevent the defect. So nowadays, you know that in the whenever you are constructing an apartment or a building, so you just complete all the work, and then at the end you may find that a lot of cracks are there, or maybe the strength is not correct or something like that, and then maybe a lot of legal is happening, or the buildings are not strong. But instead of that, what you can do is at each and every stage, right from the raw material up to the different stages of uh, constructing, how we are going to ensure the quality. Like in a typical manufacturing setup, you would have heard about the inward inspection, in-process inspection, final inspection. So similarly, in the construction industry also, right from the raw material up to the final delivery, how we are going to control the quality. So that is what is one of the principles. So stage-wise inspections that has to be implemented, which was not there as a part of the older version. Second example is about creating a collaborative project teamwork. So coordinate daily within the civil, electrical, plumbing, and interiors to prevent clashes. So many times in many construction site, one of the very commonly observed problem is that, for example, initially the mason would have come and did some work, and then after that the plumber will go and then he will just strike the break the wall, and then after that again the carpenter will come and then he will again do some work. So different departments will be just doing their work as an individual silo, and then a lot of rework is happening, a lot of material wastage is happening. So instead of that, if all the different teams are going to sit together and then see how effectively and efficiently this work can be completed, then a lot of advantages will be there. So that is what the second one, creating a collaborative project team environment, so that everybody will, on a daily basis, the cross-functional team will sit and then they will see, plan how to do the work effectively and efficiently so that a lot of value can be added to the customer. So third one is about the focusing on the value. So choose the durable, cost-effective materials instead of the cheapest option to save on long-term basis. So many, you would have been aware that many of the construction company, in order to keep the cost within the budget, so they may compromise on the quality. So they may go for a cheaper, inferior quality material. But in the long term, again, that is going to affect their credibility if the product, if the buildings are not very strong enough. So instead of that, right from the beginning, if you are going to have a long-term look at the project, then value is delivered to the customer. So that means they are going to be happy and your credibility is going to be. That is the third one. The fourth one again, optimize the risk responses. So identify the risk like the labor shortages or the material price hikes early and sign. So you may find that, okay, now the price of the cement is going on, increasing very high. So I will just go for a bulk purchase and store it here so that I'm going to be like protected again and you increase the price. So those type of actions you'll be able to take in a proactive manner so that the projects can be like done in an effective way. So these are some of the examples of how these management principles can be applied in a project. Any doubt or any clarification on this? What is the major difference between the PMBOK 6 and 7?
No, sir.
So, yeah, PMBOK 6 was focusing mainly on delivering the project on time within the budget. But PMBOK 7 is more on delivering value to the customer. So, make some small products, continuously deliver the product on time, build quality into the product or service. Right? That is what we do. Okay. So now that in 2021, we talked about the PMBOK 7, but again, if you remember, you saw the previous slide, every 4 or 5 years, again, the version is going to change. So the current version, PMBOK 8, already it is in 2026, April, it is going to be released. And the PMP exam, as per the PMBOK 8, so that will be in place by end of July, right? So what are the major changes in PMBOK 8 when compared to the PMBOK 7? So that is what the emerging trend, what we are going to learn now. So now in the PMBOK 8, it's going to be an integrated framework. So previously we have the PMBOK 6 separately, PMBOK 7 separately, and then we have an agile booklet separately, and then only these three were there in bits and pieces. Now all those three have been combined together along with some industrial best practices so that you are all having all the project management related guidelines in one framework. So that's what so all the activities, all the good content in PMBOK 6, 7 and the agile have been combined together to come out with the integrated framework. Second is about the scenario-based guidance. So in the as per PMBOK 6 and 7 is more very maybe if you have chance to read through the PMBOK 6 and 7, it is a very draft document, very difficult to understand, and but now it is more of a scenario-based. So up to PMBOK 7, it was more of a theory, but now a lot of scenario-based practical real-world examples are also given. So now the tools in action. So previously they would have just prescribed saying that you make the stakeholder register or a project management plan, but there are no templates or no tools were exclusively given for those tools and techniques. But now in PMBOK 8, there are some Excel templates and some other tools have been explicitly they have been explained. So tools are in action now. Then the blended delivery model. So choose what fits your project best. So initially, previously, you were talking about the traditional way or the predictive way of project management or the agile project management or the hybrid. But now the concept is that don't really try to give up. So whatever the approach is going to really give you the best result, go for it. So don't break your head whether you should apply the agile or whether you should apply the hybrid or whether you should apply the predictive way of project management. So just whatever the approach is going to really give you the benefit or the result, we just follow that. So that is the blended delivery. Then the value and the governance focus. So the how we are going to realize the benefits on a long term. And again, one of the very important concepts which is emerging in the latest DC, we call it the ESG. I don't know, some of you would have already heard about this. So when we talk about the environment, then sustainability, and governance. So how we are going to ensure that the environment is not getting affected because of the project? How we'll be able to sustain the results, whatever we are going to give, and how the project is going to be governed. So all the three are going to be important. Right? So this value, how we are going to create the value to the customer and the organization, and how we are going to take care of this PhD. So that becomes the primary focus according to the community. Then the digital and AI mindset. So again, a lot of emphasis is on going the digital, and a lot of AI tools also have been integrated into the project plan. So the idea is that previously, a lot of, as per the older way of the project management, a lot of time of the project manager was spent on collecting the project information and then sharing the status reports and other reports with the other stakeholders. So a lot of documentary work and a lot of waste work was happening. They were spending a huge amount of time only on the administrative or the clerical job. But now all those things will be now either digitalized or with the help of the AI, the effort is going to be drastically reduced so that the project manager can focus more on the people-related aspects of the project, because that is very important. So doing some mundane work of making a report and circulating the report, so that is not going to be a very important factor as per the PMBOK case. Everything can be automated or everything can be done by the AI. So the project manager has to really focus on the people. So that is what is going to be the focus area. So again, the PMI outside official content is will be released in during April 2026, and the exam content outline based upon which the PMP exam is going to be conducted. So that will change from the August 2026. So if any one of you are interested in doing the PMP exam, so this is the right time, right? So if you are able to start the training maybe during January or February, complete the training by February or by March, and then within April, May, June, you will be able to, because again, we need at least 1 to 2 months of time for preparing for the exam. So that by May, June, you will be able to comfortably clear the exam. Otherwise, if you go for the PMBOK cake, again, a lot of extra content is there. Again, it is going to be a bit more difficult. So if any one of you are interested in taking the PMP exam, then try to do it as early as possible before the PMBOK cake is going to take this. Okay. And this is what is with respect to the examination. So this is what is going to be the major change. So there are three different aspects, the divisions within the content. The first one is about the people. So the people related aspects of the project management. So that is now taking 42%. So 42% out of the 100 questions, 42 questions are the existing PAP exam are going to be based upon the people. And 50 questions are going to be based upon the different processes, whatever we are going to follow. And only 8% is for the business environment, right? About the senior management, what are their roles and responsibilities, and then about the external and internal environment under which the project has to operate. So that is only contributing to 8%. So this is what is the current weightage for these three aspects. But once it is changed, the exam content outline is going to be changed, aligning to the PMBOK 8. Then you can see a lot of weightage. The weightage in the business environment has increased from 8% to 26%, almost more than 300 times, 300%. Because now you know that they compared to 20 or 30 years before, when the internal and external environments were quite stable. For example, nowadays, you know that for the last, say, at least 6 months to 1 year. So how the business environment is changing, especially because of the USA, right? So a lot of policy changes are being announced, a lot of threats are coming, a lot of negotiations are happening. So the entire globe is very, very much confused, right? So because of that, that is definitely going to have a lot of impact on the projects, right? So that's why the weightage in the business environment, both internal and external environment, that has now increased more than 300%. And the process from 50, it is reduced to 41, and people, it is going to be reduced to 40. So this is what is going to be the new weightage according to the PMBOK 8. Okay. So with that, we are completing the second section, that is about the project management. So how it started, how it evolved, how it changed, and then in what direction we are going to move. So in future, the project management is going to be more AI intensive, digital intensive, going to be more of a people centric, and so a lot of the environment and sustainability and governance. So these are going to be on focus. So that is in short about what we have covered so far about the emerging project management concepts. Now we move on to the third topic, that is about ICEQBS, our company. So we are actually, the company was started in year 2015. We have more than 10 years of expertise and we have a global reach. If you visit our website, that is iceqbs.org, you would have seen that we have provided a map where our students are going to come from. So across the globe, we have the students and we are ROI focused with return of investment. So whether it is the individual working professional or whether it is the corporate, so we always are focused on how we are going to deliver value to the customer. So for the individual professional, it is about the career growth, and for the organization, the measurable benefits. So that is what we are focused. And the expert service. So again, we are having the expertise in the customized content development, training, and the implementation support for lean management, clean system, and project management. And we have now covered up to 15 plus industry sectors we are in this service. And the trainer, again, I will be the main trainer. And I have a total of 30 plus years of experience in the employment and another 10 years as a consultant. A total of 40 years experience I have. And I got certified as a Six Sigma Black Belt in the year 2004, 22 years back. And within this 22 years, I have guided more than 500 plus of projects successfully. And I have trained more than 8,000 plus professionals globally. And I am a certified master black belt from the Indian Statistical Institute, Chennai, in the year 2013. And I am also a certified PMP, project management professional. And I got the certification in the year 2007. And my current certification is valid till 2026 August. And I'm basically a BTech engineer, ceramic engineer from IIT University. And I'm also a certified lead auditor for the ISO 9000 2000. So these are about my qualifications and credentials. And if some of you are interested in taking the PMP training, then why you should choose this? So these are some of the highlights and deliverables what we give to our students. So we are the PMI authorized ATP, authorized training partner for PMI. So we have access to the authorized training material from PMI. And I am also a PMI authorized trainer. So because again, any of the authorized training partner, so they should have the trainers who are again certified by them. If you go to some other institute and if they are not authorized training partner, you are not very sure whether the trainers are actually certified by the PMI for taking the PMP training. So we normally give the authorized course content from PMI, and we conduct the live online training session through the Zoom, and we give you the electronic copy of the course material, and again a lot of case studies so that you'll be able to practically related to your area of work. So you'll be also given 35 hours of certificate. We call it the PDU, Personal Development Unit Certificate, 35 hours of training. So again, we also will be provided with 1,000 plus of practice questions. So we just give you some 7 mock tests so that at the time of preparing for the exam, then you can attempt those mock tests. Again, the difficulty level of the exams, mock tests will be just increasing. So first 3 will be a bit easy with only 100 questions in 2 hours. Then test number mock test 4 and 5, 150 questions in 3 hours, and medium complexity question. And the mock test 6 and 7 are similar to the difficulty level of the PMP exam. So in those 6 and 7, if you are able to get 75 plus percentage, then we will certify that you are exam ready, and then you can just confidently go and take the PMP exam. So we also have a mobile app, ICEQBS mobile app. So it is a learning management portal. So where all our course material will be there, all the videos, so the recordings of all the videos will also be posted in the mobile app. The mobile app also will be able to access the mock test and the examinations and quizzes, etc. So that anytime, anywhere, you will be able to have that access to the material. And we normally conduct a weekly, after the course is completed, we don't leave our students in dark. So we normally conduct once in a week. We have the exam preparation guidance. So just to review how their preparation for the exam is going on, and if any support in terms of the explaining the concepts on smooth or the application filling, any support is needed, or those type of any support, we normally conduct a weekly meeting after the training session is completed. So, and again, the post-training mentorship, right? So these are some of the special care we give for the students who are taking the PMP training from us. And on the right-hand side, you have the certificate which is given by us. So you can see that our logo will be there on the right-hand side. And since we are the authorized training partner for PMI, their logo also will be on the one side. And this was the certificate what we are giving. Okay. So that's what is what I wanted to tell. And if you want any clarification or any additional information, you can contact me. Right? Okay. So that's what I wanted to tell. And if you have any specific questions or any doubts, you can just ask me, about the exam, about the course, about the any questions you can just ask.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes, Prakash.
Sir, good evening. I am
Yeah.
Prakash Kumar. I am civil engineer, construction based work I did.
Okay.
In agile methodology, is it used in construction or?
Yes. That's what again, as we are telling you, the PMBOK 7. So even though it is not given as a agile, all the concepts are introduced there. And in fact, the out of these 180 questions, 50% of the questions will be based upon the agile method. So, so again, it is full and full the agile, how you can implement it in the other domains. So you'll get that expertise. And as I was telling you, the agile methodology is not only for the software development, it can be implemented across the different domains.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question.
Yeah.
And previously, all PMP and related, they're asking about the training related based on the construction industry. Nowadays, IT's software development and all coming. In that, for the PMP exam, the questions related to construction or IT or separate exam is there or commonly same, sir?
No, actually, there are 180 questions. So all the 180 questions will be situation based, right? So what the typical question will say that you are a project manager managing a software development project, and then this is what is the situation. And then in this situation, as a project manager, what you will do, right? Maybe another question will be that you are a project manager managing a very big construction infrastructure construction project. So this is what is the particular problem, then how it is solved, right? So again, the questions itself will be from various domains. It is not only related to only one particular domain. So all are situational questions based upon the scenario from the different domains.
That's okay, sir. But if I am a construction professional, is it a separate PMA exam or
No, for all the same.
all same, sir?
Yeah. So, for example, like if you and there is one person sitting nearby, you are taking the exam. Maybe the order in the questions will be different, but again, you will get the questions from the different domains. So it is not that you are going to get only from the civil and then somebody else is going to get only from the software.
In that situation, how can I face that question, sir?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, so you are going to be learning about the concepts, right? And these concepts can be applied in any domain. So that's what will be the final outcome when you complete the training.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So it is not going to be more a product or a service oriented. It's going to be more of a process and principle oriented. So that is what is going to be.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Vinay, any questions?
Yeah, sir. This exam is a negative marking based exam.
No negative marking in there. So no negative marking.
Okay, and sir, apart from this 35 hours training certificate, which was given by this your company, sir, Is there any kind of study materials or PM book 7 are you going to give to?
Yeah, so if, once you are into the mode, what you can do is you can also become a PMA member. So again, if you become a PMA member and take the PMP exam, and the other option is you can be a non-member and then you can take the PMP exam. But if you become a PMA member, then the PMBOK, whatever is 7 or 8, whichever is the current one, so that you will get it free of cost. And we will give you the recordings and the other study material and the quizzes and everything that will be available in the mobile.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So any other questions?
Sir, myself,
Yeah.
Anand Shekhar. Actually, I
Yeah.
wanted to clarify that how about the classes, the training classes? That the timing period is, I saw that is 11 to 6. There's a
Yeah.
continuous classes also.
So it's actually 11 to 5:30. So typically we will have 90 minutes to 100 minutes continuous, and then we'll take a 30-minute break. So 2 breaks will be there. So for example, 11 to 12:45, then 12:45 to 1:15 may be the break. Then 1:15 to 3, then 3 to 3:30 will be the break, and then 3:35. So like that, I will logically break for the logical breaks. Logical break.
Okay. After the classes, will we have the recording classes? Isn't it right, sir?
Yeah, recordings we will provide. Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we will just
Thank
upload it, and the next day we will upload it to the mobile app so that you can view it from the mobile app.
you. Okay. How about the classes? Is the online classes compulsory to attend, or if there is some situation where we can use the recording?
Yeah. So as I told you, like even because of some emergency situation, you are unable to attend the class. The next day, then you can have the access to the recording. And in case you have any doubts and you want to clarify, then you can ask for a one-to-one meeting with us.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Again, how many time period is enough to pass this exam? So typically around 4 to 8 weeks of preparation will be needed. So total you can say that around 100 to 120 hours. Roughly I'm saying 100 to 120 hours you have to put in after the training is completed. Again, going through the recordings again once or twice, reading through some of the study material, and then attempting the mock test is going to be very, very important. The more and more you take the mock test, then your learning will be better. And then because again, this is all these competitive exams, so the mental toughness is very, very important. So you should, because many of you, maybe you have 10 years or 20 years of experience. That means you have taken the exam maybe 20 years back or 10 years back. And then now you have to study, and then you have to sit continuously for 4 hours to take the exam. That will be a very tedious task. So you have to be very much prepared. So the preparation part should take around. Yeah,
Sir,
for this webinar, yes.
are these tests through the Promatic Center or something else, sir?
No, as I told you, there is this romantic center is one option where you can go and physically can take the exam. You can go to the center, and then in that computer you can take the exam. Otherwise, you can take the exam sitting at the comfort of your home or office also. We call this a proctored exam. So somebody will
Are they
be
provide
monitoring.
link for us? Are they provide link for us to attend the exam? Is
Yeah.
it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there is a question whether any certificate will be, yes, a certificate will be given to you, participation certificate. So by next Monday or Tuesday, maybe Monday is a holiday, so Tuesday or Wednesday, by the time you'll get it. So the next batch is actually starting on this Sunday, coming Sunday, that is on 24th. So you can contact either of these two numbers, so they will give you more information. So the next batch is at 11 a.m. on coming Sunday, that is 24th of January.
Okay,
Any more
thank
questions?
you.
Okay. Any other questions? You can just ask, otherwise you can.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi sir. So I'm Hitesh. I'm
Yeah.
from Pune. So I have previous experience into Deloitte as
Uh-huh.
into financial compliances. But
Mm.
I want to switch my career into product management. So can you please guide me through the process? Like, what should I target and which courses should I pursue? Like skills and tools.
No, product management, again, I think the PMP can be a better this thing. So, because you will be involved in many projects, right? As a product development. So, PMP, the project management profession, will be a good option for you.
Sir, will you support for the registration of PMP exam, sir?
Yeah, you will give. Yeah.
Okay, and
Okay.
sir, if we want to like grow our career into program management, so product management is the basic step, or the project, or we have to switch to project management. Then it
No,
is
basically, the PMA also have the program management, portfolio management, program. But those courses are not as popular as PMP. PMP is actually the most prestigious sort of thing. So the same project management institute, PMI, they also have the program management professional and portfolio management professional. That is the PG, PM, and etc. But again, PMP is actually their flagship certification.
okay. Okay, got it. Thank thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay then. Again, once again, thanking you for taking part in this webinar, and the certification will be shared in your mail by Tuesday, later by next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good
Good night.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Like, if we
Thank
want
you,
to
sir.
pursue career into project management, so which type of company should we target?
So as I told you, this PMP, this project management, you can apply anywhere, right? As I told you, R&D, institute, construction, oil and gas, healthcare, IT service, software development. So any type of this thing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes.
Sir, how many questions will be there? How much percentage is there to clear the exam, sir?
So as I told you, 180 questions will be there. All are multiple choice questions. 4 answers will be given for each question. So you have to select the best answer. And as I told you, the PMI, they are not officially told what will be the past percentage. But our the belief is that if you are getting more than 70% in the exam, then you may be satisfied.
Okay, sir.
Okay then. Thank you. Bye.